That's a nice building. I want it in my Minecraft world. How do I get it right? I'm going to show you the 5 tips I used to bring this into my Minecraft world. Done a couple more as well. So tip number 1, you're going to want to open Google Maps and find it in the real world. When you found it, cool trick, right click, and boom, you can measure the distance. Oh, 100 meters? That's 100 blocks. You can use this to map out the footprint of your building and find space for it. If it's too big, you can scale it down. 100 by 50 becomes 80 by 40, and then you have a 80% scale. I had to do this with this one. Okay, so we got the floor plan sorted. It's now time for step 2. If you get Google Maps into 3D mode, you can look at it from different angles and work out the relationships between up and down based upon your floor plan. Then you can build a dirt frame.
This segment was paid for by Tipsco Dirt Company. Other dirt providers are available. Dirt should be enjoyed responsibly as part of a varied and balanced block palette. Use dirt responsibly.
The third tip is to pick a block palette. What tones have we got? You got to match them up. I don't want to mine 100 million copper, so we'll just leave that as dirt. And if you get on Street View and look at different photos to get close up, you can find all the little details and all the blocks you're going to need. This statue can be an armor stand, so we're going to need 24 iron for that. And then we want to fill in our frame with broad strokes, keep things blocky and sort of just as basic as can be. We don't want to get bogged down with any fancy walls or windows yet. And now we have the shape of our build. It's time to refine and redefine. That's step number 4, so let's start turning those rock faces into better looking and more intricate patterns. For interiors, you can get 3D panoramas, which really sort of show you the feel of the building from the inside. It's not something you can really see on Google Maps. And the 5th and final step is to clean up. I made a ton of mess building this. I actually still have a huge gap underneath, which is just full of monsters. But step 5 is really important to bringing it into your world. That pathway that leads to nowhere, well, you've got to make it lead to somewhere. And you've got to build that garden around it as well. And you've also got to build a bridge for your entrance. You can't just have it hanging over a river. And so with these 5 tips, I've been able to bring quite a few real-world items into my Minecraft world. I've been playing this world now for over a year, and you can see all the builds which I've borrowed from their real-world counterparts. You've got the Liverpool Anglican Cathedral here. You've got an average quality replica of Stokesay Castle. And then you have a copy of the Halifax Peace Hall. If you like seeing large builds like this come to life and you enjoy peaceful and relaxing gaming content, why not check out my Minecraft series, Morningcraft? 0 out of 10 doctors would say it's the best way to start your day. You probably haven't heard of it yet. Any day now.